Thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Arlene Castellano. I am this year's YPN chair for MAR. And today we have an awesome presentation for you presented by Krista Matthews, our very own YPN vice chair, and she's from the Greater Boston Association of Realtors. We're so excited to have her. Thank you so much, Krista. The only thing we will ask, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat box, and after each topic, we'll go through the questions that we have. If you are going to take any pictures and post them on social media, please tag Krista in those posts. I'm going to put her tag in the chat. That'd be awesome if you did that for her. Well, thank you, Krista. Take it away, hon.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to do this. So today we're going to be talking about, social media and how pretty much to turn your followers into clients. We have, so many ways to get leads in this business. And, a lot of people pay money for leads. A lot of people have really good relationships with their sphere. For me, my platform was always social media, specifically Instagram. So I'm kind of going to go through how I work my social media, both Instagram and Facebook. And maybe you can take some tips and implement them into your day. So I always like to ask the first question. If a potential client looked you up on social media, would they learn anything about you beyond the fact that you are a real estate agent, lender, attorney, whatever you are today? I'd like to ask this question because social media is a social platform. It's a place to build relationships. And personally, I think, we can go out every day and say, hey, buy a house from, if you know anyone looking to buy or sell, make sure you give me a call. I can help them. But I never want to come off as a salesperson or anything like that. I want to be very genuine about it. So I want people to, when they look me up on Instagram, to know that I'm much more than a real estate agent. For me, I'm a mom. I am a friend. I am a daughter. I love Taco Bell. I love traveling. So I want my followers to see all that about me as well. Brings me to my first topic. Hello, friends. I've had so many followers, so I thought it was appropriate to reintroduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Krista, your homegirl. I'm a local Boston realtor here to help you with all your real estate needs in Mass up to Southern New Hampshire, and I even dabble in Rhode Island if you're looking to buy, sell, flip, build, or even relocate. Aside from all things real estate, I'm a Taco Bell, hence the photo. I'm a Taco Bell addict, hence the photo. I'm also a mom to two beautiful, energetic girls, plus a fur baby. If you're looking for me, you can find me skipping down the aisles of home goods at a local networking event or slaying karaoke. Don't be a stranger. I'm here to be a resource or even your homegirl. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Drop a fun fact about you. I love to share everything about me. Like I said, I want my followers to know who I am, where they can find me, and how we can relate on other levels, aside from just being the person that they think about when they're thinking of buying or selling a home. I think it's super important to have top of mind awareness. So if we're constantly sharing facts about ourselves and where we are and where followers can find us, it's going to help us build those relationships. So one thing about me is I am a Taco Bell addict. If you follow me and if you know me, you know that I live, eat, breathe Taco Bell. So I always relate all of my life in real estate to Taco Bell. I did a photo shoot with Taco Bell. I had this whole campaign one time about, writing offers and eating Taco Bell and things like that, that it's at the point in my life and career that there's other agents across the country. There's, people who are friends with other friends of mine that just constantly are sharing Taco Bell related things with me, whether it be memes or they'll go to Taco Bell and they'll tag me in their post. I have had past clients tag me and post that they're at Taco Bell. When I close deals, it's very common for my clients to give me a Taco Bell gift card because they know how much I love it. So it's just little things like that, really introducing yourself and who you are outside of being a real estate agent. So going back to Facebook and Instagram, my main platform is Instagram. Personally, I think it's my generation. That's where my sphere is, like friends, people I went to high school with, people I went to college with. And then Facebook is kind of just like my business. It's my colleagues, it's other agents, it's my family. It's a lot more of an older crowd for me. I still, I have my Instagram and Facebook connected. So when I do post on Instagram, it automatically syncs to my Facebook. And that way I'm still touching both sets of spheres that I have. And the way I look at Facebook and Instagram is I always look at Facebook as like the front yard. When we're listing a house, we want to look at the curb appeal. How does it look? You want to come off inviting and presentable. So Facebook for me is like LinkedIn. It's I look look at it like my resume. It's clean cut, and I want to invite you guys in. And then my Instagram, I look at more as like my backyard. My backyard, I have a fire pit. I would love to have a pool one day. Like I want my backyard to be the house that everyone wants to come to and hang out to. I want to host parties in my backyard and networking events, things like that. So that's really how I integrate, like when I'm thinking of real estate, how can I separate the two? And again, tying back Facebook, the front yard, the curb appeal, inviting people in. They want to come and stop by. They want to come and see what my backyard looks like because they want to hang out with me. They want to get to know me. And we're going to have fun together. Arlene, you want to ask, is there any questions so far?
I don't have any questions yet, but I have one. I mean, I'm learning while we're going through this. And I think a lot of people would have this question is how much is too much when it comes to posting? Because obviously we've seen some posts where we're like, whoa, that's a little too much. There has to be a line somewhere. And do you have a clear line in your mind of that you don't cross?
Not really. I'm a very open book and I overshare. I do, for me, I don't like to post more than once a day, especially on like my Instagram feed. Like my Instagram feed is very clean cut. It's very like it has to be aesthetically appealing to me. Again, I want the aesthetic look, and I want people to be invited in and not overwhelmed. So for me, when it comes to Instagram, I like to keep my post very like simple and direct. But on Facebook, I'm more active and more posting on Facebook when it comes to other things. Like I'll do an Instagram post and it will be a topic about, home buyers or sellers, what's going on in the market right now. But then, my brokerage puts out all these blogs that I'm able to just access. So, and then on top of like the MAR blogs, the NAR blogs, my local association GBAR blogs, like there's so much additional information out there that I think is helpful. So on Facebook, I will share those. I will say like things can get overwhelming and people will get annoyed with you if you continue to post, if you're doing like 16 posts a day. So personally, I would like probably average it around 3 a day, if that. But again, it's going to be very dependent on who you are as a person and, how well do you know your sphere and people who are following you.
That makes sense. We did get a question.
Okay.
All right. Oh, I have more than one. Okay. Linda has a personal Instagram page. Do you suggest having a separate account for real estate?
So personally, no, I have one account. It's not personal. It's not business. It's actually Instagram allows you to have like a creator account. So I have a creator account on Instagram. It pretty much has all the same features as a business account, except you also get the personal account features. My Instagram is public. It's not private. I don't believe in having myself private because I want people to be able to come to my page and creep on me because they shouldn't have to follow me just to get all my resources that I have. And I want them to creep on me and learn to like me so that they do follow me. So I personally have just one. I don't think I'd be able to manage two because it's a common question I get is, I have a personal and a business. Do you think I should integrate them? I'm like, well, how you can't even handle one, how can you handle two? It is time consuming. So you just have to think of that. And I personally think having that, you never want to just be strictly business.
Next question. Kathleen is always concerned about where on her posts and how big the brokerage information needs to be. So where on the post the brokerage information needs to be and how big it has to be.
Are we talking about like the NAR guideline types?
Yeah, that's where we're going with that.
Tag your brokerage. Like I'm with Lamakia Realty. Lamakia has a brokerage page and I tag them. I make sure I'm tagging them because I'm throwing it in there.
Next one, when is a caption too long?
So I will say Instagram you can only have so many characters. I don't know off the top of my head how many characters there are, but if you go to if you want to check out my Instagram account or my Facebook account, go check out my captions. Mine are pretty lengthy, but it's how are you portraying the information?
Okay, I noticed you tag locations. This is from Jamie. I noticed you tag locations when you post. Do you find that it brings in more followers for you?
We'll touch on that.
We'll touch on that. Do you have someone taking your photos most of the time, or do you make posts of you taking photos of other things, just adding a blurb?
So mine are, I spend my marketing money on lifestyle photo shoots.
And that was it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll get back.
Yes.
So going back to like Facebook, Instagram, social media is a social network. When Facebook came out, it was meant for, staying in touch with your friends, your families, and things like that. It was meant to be a relationship builder. It got to a point where people started using it as a sales platform. And that's not what it was meant to be. And which is why there's so many guidelines around, posts now. And if you're posting, if you're doing ads and things like that, you have to abide by certain guidelines and all that stuff. But the main purpose of social media was for it to be a social network. So I always say, leave the sales pitch at home. If you're like, you have a bio for a reason, your bio states that you sell real estate, you're sharing real estate related articles, everyone knows you are in real estate. You don't have to constantly get up on like Instagram and Facebook and say, hey, I'm a real estate agent. Who do you know looking to buy or sell? We don't need that. For me, I like to have one-on-one conversations. I like to, message people, comment on people's posts, and talk directly to them. I like to ask questions. I like to listen to what other people are talking about and really just building that rapport. Because again, we're in a relationship business. We're always taught to build the rapport with people. So if you take what we're learning in the field about building rapport and building relationships, just put a spin on it and put it into words on social media. Meeting new people. I like to follow people. Who are my friends following? I'm very big when it comes to small local businesses, especially in towns that I do business in, towns that I work in, supporting my friends, things like that. And then really just, I want to be a resource for people. And a lot of my content that I post on social media is very resourceful. I'm always talking about, tips and tricks, strategies for first-time home buyers, for sellers in today's market. The market changes. And really, I want to be the Google for people, because the one thing I hate is when I get clients and they're like, well, Google told me this. I'm like, well, Google told you wrong. Don't listen to Google, because you go on Google and there's 2,200,000 answers that you're going to get. Where if you come to my page, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Again, I'm brutally honest and I overshare a lot. So when it comes to your post, captions are just as important as your content. And I think this is where a lot of people struggle. No one really knows what to post. And again, we are a wealth of knowledge. We dabble in so much different things on a day-to-day basis. I'm 4.5 years in this business, and every day I learn something new. I'm learning a lesson, whether it's, something I could have done better as an agent, or something new that happened in a deal that I never thought was possible. So we're always learning, we're always being educated, we're always going to network events, talking to different people, listening to podcasts. There's so much information. So I always say, take that information and put it into words. And it's hard and it's a lot. Another really easy thing to do is blogs. We have all these people creating blogs for us about what's going on in the real estate market and tips and tricks and things like that. All we have to do is paraphrase a blog, put it into our own words, take little snippets from it, and there's your captions right there. And then again, going back to the content, we have buyers, sellers, investors, new construction, short sales, foreclosures, interest rates. There's so much going on and so much language that people don't know in the process. So there's your content right there. Engagement equals growth. The whole purpose, again, is engaging with people. The more you engage with other people, the more likely they're going to engage with you. Social media has this funny algorithm, and they're only going to show you things that are getting a lot of engagement. So if you want to see things that you want to see, you need to be engaging with that stuff so the social media platforms can pick up what you're into. And engagement, that's liking people's posts, that's commenting on people's posts, that's directly messaging people from the post, sharing their post. There's so many different avenues of how we can be engaging with people. And the more you do it, the more you're going to grow as a whole. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Again, I always tell people to find their niche. And again, I kind of just laid out all the different avenues of real estate there are. If you find your niche, you can really hone down on who you're speaking to. Me personally, my business the last 4 years was first-time home buyers. So a lot of my content was around first-time home buyers and what the process looked like, and the feelings, the obstacles, and everything like that. That I was putting out all this important resources of being a first-time home buyer, especially in the market we were just in. But now I'm switching my gears and focusing on the selling side of it, because I'm at the point in my career where I kind of want to focus more on listings rather than working with buyers. Still going to put out the buyer content, but I'm really going to just turn my niche around. But again, how you come off is what you're going to attract. So you really need to sit down and think about who you are as a person and what you bring to the table. And I always say it's best to look at your testimonials. What are your clients saying about you? Because that's the vibe that you're giving off. And you want to take what your clients are saying about you and put it out there into words, into, maybe invest in a lifestyle photo shoot, and have who you are captured, and then really share about it. I also say that IG stories and Facebook stories now, I think that's where all the money is, because people are constantly sitting there watching what other people are doing. They really don't care about the posts that you make. They're watching, they want to know where you are, what you're doing, who you're hanging out with, where you're eating, where you're going. They want to know everything. So Instagram stories are huge, and we'll definitely talk about that.
I do have a question for you.
Yes.
Where are your favorite sources to get content and statistics, etc.? Mike is asking.
Yeah, so there's so many platforms. Again, MAR, NAR, your local association, those should be the first 3 that you start with. Then there's also your brokerage. I don't know. I mean, most brokerages that I know put out their own blogs, things like that. So those are 4 great avenues to get resources. And then there's, Keeping Current Matters. There's Inman. There's all these other channels of resource podcasts and blogs and things like that we're constantly listening to, where we can get content. I know we all work with loan officers. I have 20 different loan officers emailing me every day with, market updates between interest rates and what's going on there. That's a whole another avenue of content that we can be utilizing from our partners that we work with. And then there are, paid subscriptions that you can look into. There's Coffee and Contracts, there's Modern Agent Social Club, there's, I think it's Pink Door is another one, but there's so much content out there that you can have access to. Any other questions?
Nope, that's it.
All right. So content, give people a reason to follow you. Content creates engagement. Engagement leads to relationships. Relationships are built on trust. Trust turns followers into clients. Clients lead to closings and champagne celebrations. So again, you want to give people a reason to follow you. It drives me absolutely insane when I go and look at a real estate agent's profile and all I see is just listed, under agreement, just sold, just listed, under agreement, just sold. And that's all it is. I feel like I'm looking at a billboard. And to me, that's not showing me anything. That's just showing me you are cocky and you like being cocky. It's great that you do so much business. I'm never like, crushing someone's dreams or anything like that. I love that you do business, but that's all because you just listed a property. That's not doing anything for anyone. Personally, there's people who have specific price ranges. There's people who who look in certain areas. And if you're constantly posting all you're just listed and just sold, and you could be turning away clients who don't fit into that price point or who may be looking in an area just outside where you're posting, and you could be losing business. You're pushing people away by posting all that stuff. And then the just sold, especially in the market that we just left, the just sold and everyone saying, oh, 100K over asking, 80,000 over asking on no contingencies. You are scaring so many buyers, and it's just creating negativeness in our industry. And again, pushing away those potential clients that bring you money. For me, I will drive anywhere and I will take any price point, because at the end of the day, that's a relationship and you don't know who they know, who that they're going to eventually introduce you to. So when I'm putting out my content, I want my content to be for everyone. And, I'm talking again, going back, talking about being the resource. I'm giving people resources because I want to create a space where people can learn from me, and that they feel comfortable enough coming to me and asking me questions because they trust me. And they trust me and they don't even know me, but they feel like they know me because I'm being vulnerable to them and I'm giving them the advice and the tips, the strategies, whatever it is. So content, entertain, educate, engage, inspire. Education, I think, is the most important part because no one knows the process better than us. So we have all the information and all the tools to educate everyone. I mean, I tell my clients that they're going to be the most educated buyer because, I'm giving you all the resources up front. Most of my buyers come from social media. So they've been following me. They've been getting all this education from me for 6 months, 3 months, a year, whatever it's been. And then when we actually sit down, I'm going over all that information again, and that they know that they can, if they have a question, they can come look at my Instagram page, or they know that they can ask me the question because they know I'm the resource. Entertain, everyone loves to be entertained. So that's where Reels come in. I'm not going to talk about Reels today, but that's something people are eating up right now, is the Reels, the TikToks, the video, and just being entertaining. And then, another thing is, think of it like HGTV. How many of us have clients who are like, oh, I watched HGTV. I can, I can do a fixer upper. It looks so easy, but it's really not. But a lot of people do watch HGTV, and it's one topic that's always brought up to me. And so I think of it like, let's give them that behind the scenes look, because that's what people are actually looking for. They want to see the inside of houses, even if it's a house that they can't afford. They want to see that beautiful lakefront property with the backyard of everyone's dreams. They want to see, if you do flips and things like that, like people want to see the before and afters. People just want to see what it's like to be us for a day. So even giving that behind the scenes look at what we're doing for the day. Are you going to your office to get work done, or are you going to a networking event? Are you going to a training? Are you meeting buyers at a local coffee shop? Are you going to a listing appointment? Like there's so much that we do on a day-to-day basis that is content for everyone. And then really just being the local expert. If you're someone who really only focuses on like 3 towns, be that expert. What's going on in the area aside from just selling houses? Do you have kids in school? Like talk about the sports, especially high school. People love to know what the high school sports teams are doing. Are they doing championships? Are the cheerleaders hosting a car wash in the community to raise money for a competition or something like that? What's the town doing? What's your chamber of commerce doing? Is there a new pizza place opening up? Like be that expert, go to those places and just introduce yourself to business owners and community members, and share things that are going on, because again, you're going to be that person that people go to when they think of not only what's going on in the town, but real estate. It all ties back into top of mind awareness. Any questions, Arlene? All right. So when we go to posting, so I have 2 different examples here. The one on I think it's my left. It's, just your generic open house post, has all the date. It's very, there's a lot of wording on it. Open house, Sunday, January 3rd, call us day for more information, number. I see this all so often. Every home buyer is checking Zillow, they're checking Redfin, they're checking their MLS that they're set up to. They see all this information. Now, this on the right it's just a picture of a kitchen. And then the caption, there is something about kitchens to me. It's the heart of the home where endless memories are made. Imagine wine nights at the island chatting about The Bachelor. Or how about baking cookies with the kids? This kitchen could be yours. Ask me about 123 Main Street, Waltham. I'm giving someone a visual and I'm letting them into what could this house be to them. And I'm not giving them much more information. I'm just saying this kitchen could be yours. Ask me. I'm giving them a call to action for them to reach out to me. Now, the other one, the open house, why is someone going to reach out to me and ask me anything when they can just go to the open house? Whereas the kitchen, it's like, okay, this is a new listing. This is the address, but like, what else can I know about the house? Let me reach out. I'm going to feel more comfortable reaching out to this agent, asking questions, because it was very vague, but it also told a story. Personally, to me, I think storytelling helps sell houses. So if you're looking at it from the listing side, you're doing your seller a favor by just posting one photo of the house and trying to draw people in through a story. Again, like billboard versus relationships. So going back, tell a story. So here's clients of mine. We closed, I think 2020. And then sappy post. Moving from one state to another is stressful. Now throwing a pandemic on top of it. Imagine not being able to travel to look at homes as you prepare to move 300 plus miles to a new state. Matt and Angela put their trust in me to help me find them a new home in a state they were not familiar with. To say this was easy, I'd be lying. After losing out on a few good homes and being just about exhausted on the edge of giving up, I stumbled across this adorable little home. Sure enough, I headed out to Billerica with 10% battery. I FaceTimed my friends and gave them a tour. This home checked all of their boxes and was in an amazing area. We submitted an offer, and a few hours later, I was able to call them and finally share some good news. When they finally landed in Mass, about a month later, my anxiety was through the roof. What if they don't love the house? Will they hate me? I met them earlier this week to reveal the home in person, and they loved it. Today, Matt and Angela signed the papers on their new home and officially became Massholes. Thank you to the lender for thinking of me and introducing me to Matt and Angela, and a huge shout out to my attorney that I work with, for always saving the day and calming everyone's nerves. And last but not least, thank you, Matt and Angela, my clients, for trusting me through the journey. You guys have stuck with me forever. So the pandemic was crazy for everyone. You know, we did a lot of virtual tours. It was scary, not only for the buyers, but for us as well. So being able to tell the story of relocating and how what I did for them and how it wasn't easy for not only them, but it wasn't easy for me. Really, you know, it shows who I am as an agent, and I'm going to work for you. And like, this process is tough. The market was crazy, but at the end of the day, we got it done. And then tagging, you know, the loan officer, the lender, and my clients, now they can share the post on their story and their followers are seeing it. So not only were my followers seeing it, but I'm opening up to everyone, all these other followers to see it. So when someone, you know, is thinking of making a move from one state to another and they don't know anything, who that someone might stumble across this post and be like, okay, I'm going to give Krista a call because look at how honest she was and she was able to handle it. Share your testimonials. Krista was absolutely amazing. She helped us close on a home in a very busy and competitive market that was changing every day, but she stayed on top of everything to make sure nothing was missed and our offers stayed as competitive as possible within our comfort zone, of course. We searched for 2-3 months, saw roughly 16 houses in person, and made 4 offers. But Krista didn't miss a beat or seem overwhelmed while managing her other clients. She's a mom of 2. We were first-time buyers and relatively clueless about the process, but she walked us through it all and had a great welcome package that we referenced often. Also, this shouldn't be taken lightly, but Krista has great contact, seriously. From inspectors to lawyers, everyone she put us in contact with made the process very smooth and reasonably priced. We sincerely recommend Krista and promise you won't regret it. That testimonial was way more than Krista was great. She helped us find a house in a competitive market. It actually talked about me and what I was able to do. And yeah, this again was in COVID. We were all overwhelmed in COVID and, you know, managing so many different things. But to them, I never seemed overwhelmed. And pointing out the fact that I am a mom of 2 and my kids are young. So it's like I'm constantly living on edge and very anxiety ridden, but I don't come off that way to my clients. And again, it's going back to that vibe of how I want to come off. Um, and then again, buying and selling a home is always a process, but there's no way to prepare to sell a home in one state and buy sight unseen in another, all during a global pandemic. Our mortgage company recommended Krista Matthews, and we're so grateful that they did because without her, we would not have been able to move into a beautiful home in Billerica. Krista markets herself as approachable to young buyers and sellers, and her interactions and willingness to work with my husband and me demonstrated that she understands and respects the needs of her clients. We did not feel like clients while interacting with Krista. Instead, we felt like we could go to her with any and all questions, concerns, and thoughts throughout the home buying process. Right there, they never felt like clients because I don't want my friends, but my clients to feel like clients. I want them to feel like friends. I want them to feel like family. I want them to think that they can trust me. We knew that Krista would be honest with us while viewing houses and took our wants and needs into consideration. She was hugely helpful as our boots on the ground, especially since COVID-19 restrictions prohibit us from seeing homes in person. Krista willingly jumped at any opportunity to view a house, rain or shine, and she thought we might love and gave feedback, which ultimately led us to make decisions. Everything listed above proves that Krista is amazing at her job. However, there's no way to put into words how invested Krista was. We got outbid on multiple houses throughout the process, and Krista genuinely felt each rejection with us. She pushed harder on each offer and encouraged us to keep trying when she knew that we felt defeated. Most importantly, Krista did not quit after the offer was accepted. We hit some bumps along the way, as you do in real estate, and Krista remained that comforting and confident presence, which reassured us that things would work out. We were ready to quit, and Krista would not allow it, and we generally feel that it was because she cares about us as friends, not just as clients. Again, I care about them as friends, not clients. Krista Matthews truly is our homegirl, and I can recommend no one more than her for your real estate needs. Like both of these testimonials really talked about who I am as a person and who I'm going to be with my clients. And I think that's super important. And we having these to share again shows how easy it is for people to trust us and work with us because we're going to go above and beyond.
I do have some questions
Yes.
for you. All right. So Allison saying, I am just starting my real estate business and I'm coming from the teaching field where all my social media had to be super private. It's been difficult for me to open up and share myself after having to keep it private. Do you have any advice?
Yes, you're a teacher. So you have this whole teaching thing down. So make yourself not private and start teaching people about real estate because you don't have to be private with real estate.
The next one from Cindy. I've also struggled with keeping my client situation private and I'm sensitive to them for this. I don't think my clients would appreciate their info being put out on social media for all to read. Do you ask your clients before posting their story?
I always ask my clients, yes. And you can also, you don't have to include a picture of them. I've done some where my clients didn't want to be, they didn't want a photo or anything like that. So I just, screenshotted the testimonial and I put it up and I just did their initials or something like that. Or I did anonymous. You can, you still want to share what they're writing about you. You don't have to say who it is.
And we did get one more question, but that's it's a rules question, which you're going over, right?
Okay. Yeah.
There we go.
So then again, this is all related to like the type of content we should be posting, state facts. I have my photo here and my little blurb says 3 reasons I might not be the right agent for you. Getting honest here, people. Real talk, I'm not pizza. I can't make everyone happy. That means I might not be the right agent for you, and I'm totally okay with that. Also, guys, I think I'm absolutely hilarious, so I try to come off very funny in my post. Here are 3 reasons why I might not be the right agent for you. Also, who's ever saying that they're not the right agent for someone? We never want to say we don't work with people, but it's true. It's a relationship business. I don't want to work with people that I can't work with. And we don't want to work with people that don't want to work with us. Reason number 1, you don't like donuts? I'm always sharing my favorite spots around the area to grab the best mouth-watering donut with my clients. Sometimes I'll even show up to the early morning appointments with donuts. That's a fact. 2, you don't want to be friends with your real estate agent. Maybe that sounds weird, but I treat my clients the same way I would treat my best friend. That means I want to get to know you beyond the square footage of your house. I want to provide the best experience while also making sure I know those extra things that help you find the perfect for you house. I had a client one time and they were relocating from Washington and they were browsing on social media looking for an agent. They reached out to me and we had a conversation and I did the whole buyer presentation, ask the buyer questions, but there's always some additional questions I ask in my onboarding. I ask, what do you like to do? What's your lifestyle? What do you like to do outside the house? Do you like to hike? Do you like to be close to a downtown? Do you like, restaurants, things like that? I also ask about specific rooms in the house, like where you're living now, what room are you lacking that you need in your house? Where do you spend the most time in your house? Like I'm asking more in-depth personal questions rather than their wants and needs. And I'll never forget this person. She interviewed 3 agents she found on social media, but at the end of the day worked with me. And when I asked her why, she told me, because you got personal and you cared more about my price range and what I was looking for. You never told me I was unrealistic. And she felt comfortable enough because I knew I wasn't just finding her a house to live in, but the house was going to be in an area that provided easy access to her lifestyle outside the house. And again, that's being important. And I only ask those questions because I want to know. I generally want to know about people and, what interests do we have? Like how can we relate? How can I stay friends with you after this transaction? You like to hike? I don't like to hike, but Some days I'm in the mood to just get out and clear my head. I'm going to call you because I know you're going to be down to do it with me. Like, it's just little things like that um, that make people trust you more. And then the third reason, you're afraid to hear the truth. Again, going back to me being brutally honest. I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I'm not going to tell you not to worry about the water in your basement before putting your house on the market, or to skip painting that dark living room to a more appealing neutral color. I will tell you if you should remove the rugs and make room looks in that make the room look smaller, or take down the curtains that are too style specific. I want to be your friend, and that means telling you the truth to make sure you can sell your house for the most money possible. And the same is true on the flip side if you're buying. I'll help you determine if it's a smart buying decision or if you're likely overpaying. Ask me and I'll tell you what is going to benefit you the most. I had a client one time ask me, the house was terrible. It was not the house for them. We saw multiple houses and this just like wasn't the one. And they sat there and they were like, we want your opinion on the house. And I was like, you're not going to like my opinion. And they were like, no, we want your opinion. I was like, I hate this house. It's ugly. I'm not the one buying it. It's not my money. It's too small for you. You guys are going to hate it. Oh, I don't know what happened. Sorry. So they asked me my opinion and they were kind of mad that I gave them that opinion, because they were like, you really just changed our mind. And it wasn't my intention to change their mind. It's just, we've been working now for 4 to 6 months. And I know the houses that we were offering and the houses you were liking, and you're settling at this point. And I don't want you to, I never want someone to settle and then call me a year later that they want to sell, because now you have to pay capital gains and you're going to hate that too. So whatever, they didn't take my advice. They bought the house, got a call from them 2 weeks ago that they want to sell their house. They haven't even been in it a year yet. So wish they took my advice. But again, just going back, I'm brutally honest. And when they called me, they were like, you are so right. We hate this house. There's so many problems. But I guess, COVID happened and a lot of people did settle, and I hated that for them. But, you got to be honest. And then be real. And this one was very popular in COVID. To the one that got away. Pull up a chair and come on in. I just picked out my pumpkin spice latte, and I'm here to relive your house hunting blues. They say real estate agents double as therapists for a reason, You found the one, you wrote the offer, you create a Pinterest board full of the inspo on how you would chip and Joe that kitchen after closing day, but the seller didn't accept your offer. How do you get over missing out on the house? As cliche as it sounds, it wasn't meant to be. I know it's hard to hear, but I promise it's true. Did you know that every buyer of mine that has missed out on the one actually ended up glad that they did? Believe it or not, every single time they found an even more perfect house for them. So what do you do in the meantime? A few things. Know that you offered your highest and best. There's nothing more you could have done. Know that there will be another house for you. Keep looking. Many times when a buyer misses out on a house number one, the actual one is not far behind. You know what you're looking for now and won't hesitate when it's time to make a move. You're making smart real estate decisions. If you would have offered higher than you did or waived a major contingency, you might have regretted it. Now you can take what you learned and apply it to the next house. Have you hesitated starting your house hunting journey because of the competition? Again, ending with a call to action, a question. I want people to, give a response in the comments, and just being brutally honest. Like, the market was tough and a lot of buyers were defeated. They still are, but I'm being real. I'm talking about what's going on and what a lot of buyers are feeling. And again, I'm coming off as someone that they can come to because I know what other buyers are experiencing. And, I'm telling them that everything's going to be okay. And, you were offering your highest and best. You're not ready to waive a home inspection. You're doing the best you can, but someone out there is just willing to take risks that you aren't.
Just want to remind you, we have about 15 minutes left.
Okay. I'm not going to read any more of these. But again, educating, talk about this one's your must list versus your less list. I think a lot of people get stuck on, the less list rather than their must list, and, educating them on that. And again, these are just like off topics that people don't talk about. So thinking of that, like sit down and think of all the questions that you get asked on a daily basis, or some things that your clients have went through, and utilize that as a story and tell it. So again, IG story is the best way to differentiate yourself on Instagram. I love Instagram stories. People click through them. I'm going to go through these ones pretty quick, but we'll take questions. So IG story hacks, speak to one person. When you get up on Instagram and you're going to Instagram stories and you're going to talk about what's going on, don't say, hey, everyone, just go into it. Don't even give an opening. Just talk about what you're doing and talk as if you're talking to one person. Plan ahead, know what you're going to talk about before you get on there and talk about it. Use the captions. A lot of people just look through things and they necessarily don't have their sounds on if they don't have AirPods in. So even just typing up in the captions on the video, or there is actually an option to auto generate captions, having that so people can watch and read. And always make followers feel like you're sharing a secret. Like get up there and tell them what's going on. Again, going behind the scenes, you're at a home inspection, something came up at the home inspection that's, a lot of buyers don't know, or something to be aware of. Share those secrets. Take behind the scenes. Again, remember HGTV. People like real and raw. Don't worry about how you look. If you're stuttering your words, I do it all the time. Consistency is key. I always say post at least 3 times a day on your stories, because those are the most visible and the most interactive. Use stickers and features. Here are some of the stickers that you can do. You can tag your location. You can mention someone, a business, a person. You can do hashtags. You can do a donation. You can add music, a poll, questions, quizzes, things like that. So just tagging other accounts is always important. If you're tagging someone, they're going to get notified, then they can share. Again, you're going from your followers now to all of their followers. Hashtags, hashtags is another way to get found, and locations. Hashtags and locations definitely bring you clients, because you're tagging a location, it's popping up in that location, so people follow locations. Restaurants are always good ones. Businesses, things like that. Here's some of my things. Staging. So this is my stager. She staged the listing for me. She tagged me in my post. So she just posted on her page that she's staging somewhere, and she put the location of East Boston. So now she follows a bunch of real estate agents and clients. So now they're probably following me. I shared it, staging time, letting everyone know I stage, and this is my stager. I'm giving her business as well. Patriot schedules are going out this week. Who wants one? Drop your address. I'm giving people easy access to give me their address. Now I have their address. Now they're going to get so much more mail than Patriots calendars. Offers outside of gymnastics, mom, boss, realtor, mom, tagging. I was in Winchester where my daughter's doing gymnastics, letting people know that I have kids. And while my kids are in practice, my car is my office. I'm always working. These are just some messages that I get. I'm not really going to read them, but pretty much, house hunting for 6 months. This is what we're looking for. We've been working with a realtor who's our family friend, but mainly focuses on the Southern and the Cape. So a friend of mine recommended you. Hi, we're officially looking for a house within next year. I'd love to connect with you. My bestie recommended I reach out to you on the hunt for a home. This was a referral actually from another agent out in Worcester. She's looking to buy a condo out this way. She's in the early stages. I think this was just like 3 months ago. I got this referral. We closed like 3 weeks ago.
I do have a question.
Yes.
All right. Greg is asking, building a brand is important and valuable, but what about the technical conversion from follower to real qualified clients?
That's too much of a technical question for me. Is he asking like how to track it?
I think he's asking, oh wait, he went further. Hold on. How many followers added their addresses into the path magnets that you didn't have in your CRM? In other words, what quantity of new clients enter your form with their address?
So honestly, that's a whole topic itself. Different things that I do, like I do resource guides. I'm always at least once a week asking questions and gaining someone's email address or a home address. And each time it's different. Sometimes I get 30 people, 30 new people. There was one time I got 115 email addresses just from one single post. And then out of that, I think I converted that year, I think I converted maybe 14 of them as new buyers. And then the other ones, they're still on like a drip campaign. Some of them, it was a buyer's guide very early on stages, but I still, some of them are warm leads now that I'm probably closing this year. It's all dependent. But again, I take everything and put it right into my CRM because they're always going to get touched, whether it be a newsletter, my company's newsletter, my newsletter. Anytime I have an event, they're going to get notified. Anytime I drop a new collateral that I share with people, they're going to get notified. I think the Pat's calendars the other day, I got like 16 new addresses within like the first hour that it was posted. So it's all dependent. So here we're going to talk about the National Association of Realtors. They have their own set of guidelines. Again, it's going back to there's articles in the Code of Ethics that talk about advertising and marketing. And Arlene, do you want to share in the chat the link that you shared with me to all this information? Because I think that's going to be super helpful because I only have like so much information.
I will get on that.
But yeah, so the National Association of Realtors, obviously we have to abide by certain rules when it comes to marketing ourselves and, sharing other people's posts. We have to be careful of fair housing, antitrust, disclosures, online advertising. So when it comes to avoiding risk, it's best to play it safe. If you are unsure how it can be interpreted, don't post it. There's one thing that really stuck out to me, and I totally do it all the time. And it wasn't until I actually read all this that realized that I shouldn't be doing it. But I'm always sharing when I have an offer accepted, and I'm always taking the photo from MLS and sharing it. I never used to ask the agent before I did it, and it is not my photo. Now I make sure that, hey, I'm going to post this on my social media. If you have a social media, I'm totally going to tag you and your brokerage, but can I just use the exterior photo for my social media? And I've never been told no. I've never been told no. I also, people in our offices, they have a listing, they have an open house where I share their open houses, but I'm making sure I ask like, hey, I'm going to share this. I'm going to tag you. I'm going to tag the brokerage. We need to make sure that we're tagging the agent who it belongs to and the brokerage.
That was one of the questions that we had gotten initially. Do you need the listing agent's permission to share?
Yes.
And also to add to this, we don't know what we don't know. And we all our experiences, we have our way of doing things. And I learned through taking At Home with Diversity, which is offered by NAR and also Fairhaven. It opened up my eyes to like our code of ethics and fair housing. I was doing things that I didn't even realize I was doing wrong. And if you haven't taken At Home with Diversity or Fairhaven, I strongly encourage you. You could be the best person on the planet, but I promise you there are things you're doing wrong. And these two classes are so eye-opening. I highly recommend it.
Especially when we're sharing our new listings and things like that. You want to adhere to the MLS guidelines too, especially when it comes to fair housing. So make sure you're not using those words that can be interpreted wrong or violating those laws.
So we got a couple more questions. Where do you do your life photo shoots? At your house, client's house, multiple outfit scenes, one shoot? So more technical stuff on your
So my lifestyle shoots they vary. I utilize other agents' listings, again, going There's one agent in my company who has very beautiful listings all the time, new constructions, and he's always open to letting me use his house, the houses for photo shoots. And then, I've gone on MLS and just looked at like listings that are vacant or very nicely staged. And I've reached out to the agents being like, hey, I'm looking to do a lifestyle photo shoot for real estate purposes. Do you think I can use your house? And then I also spin it like, hey, while I'm there, I'm going to do some like behind the scenes footage. I can totally help market your listing. And what agent's going to say no to that, especially if the house is vacant and nicely staged? Obviously, you have to ask the sellers, get their permissions. There's a lot of, studio space. I use studio spaces. I'm from the North Shore, so I typically go to Newburyport. There's a beautiful like office space that you can rent that has like different rooms and sceneries. There's a new place in Stoneham, right on Main Street in Stoneham, that actually has like a kitchen, a dining room, a living room with a fireplace. Like you just gotta really look for places, going outside, things like that. But yeah, that's where I spend my marketing money, is on photos, because again, I want to take these nice photos and nice houses and then share educational stuff.
And just to answer a couple of the questions here, Sarah asked, there is going to, this webinar is being recorded and will be made public at some point, so you can find it. I'm just answering these questions. And then Isabel said, don't forget state licensing regulations. And I'll just say, NAR and MAR and your local focuses on more the ethics and more of, just being nice to each other and fair housing. The actual not being able to use listing pictures and all that from other people, those are the actual MLS regulations, the state licensing regulations. So she did touch on both of those.
Yes. And then we'll just end with some do's and don'ts. Be yourself, share what you're passionate about and makes you uniquely you. Be transparent, communicate, comment cautiously. It's not just your post that people see, but it's the comments you make on other people's things, especially, when people are arguing and disagreeing, insulting, and everything gets super political. Like, just be very cautious about that stuff. Be open-minded to others' points and views. Again, just bite your tongue. Sometimes it's hard, but we all have a presence that we need to live up to, and one wrong thing we say or do can have a huge impact on us. Educate buyers and sellers of the risks involved. Talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, everyone. Be neutral on controversial topics, political, religion, race, other sensitive topics. Do's and don'ts continue. Don't friend everyone, be selective. Don't spam or sell, like be human, be real, be authentic. Don't vent, don't use social media as your personal journal. Again, it's public and we're professionals. Don't talk about clients or your deals. Don't assume your friends and family or clients have the same views as you. Again, going back to religion, politics, social issues. Don't assume anything on social media is private. Even, if you are private and you're in private groups or direct messages, people can screenshot very easily. Nothing's ever private. All right, well, that's all on my end.
Wow. So Sarah Presti says, great job, Krista. Very informative and insightful. I'm excited to put myself out there. Great presentation from Jamie. Thank yous. Everyone loved it. It's awesome. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Krista. I learned a whole lot. I'm very appreciative. Everyone's saying boss lady, they love you. Thank you. Great presentation. The only thing I will mention, YPN is having another event in October 12th. We're having a tailgate party at MAR. We're going to have an ice cream truck. We're gonna have food. Pat the Patriot's going to be there. We're gonna have a great time. So keep your eye out for that email from MAR. And again, thank you, Krista. Please tag her in any posts and let the world know how awesome she is. Thank you.